One thing that some viewers may not realize is that many of my video ideas actually originate from my own questions or me wanting to learn more on a subject. And if I put the time and energy into research, testing, or whatever, I often double dip and make a video out of it. But today I'm straight up asking you all to help me understand something. So to my Vynnset players out there, I'm asking you the question, why are you all running Lunging Press?
A huge shout out to our channel members for supporting what we do here. If you want to get involved with the channel and the Dice Commando community, please consider joining as a channel member. Remember, these videos are only possible with your support. You can show that support with a like, a subscribe, and by leaving us a comment and sharing your feedback. Community first, and go Commando.
Hey there, my flesh and blood friends. Welcome back to Dice Commando, and go again, a fabulous cast. And that's right, as you can tell from the silly hat, it is that time of the year. This will actually be the last one before the very short holiday break, but in doing so, or before we go into that, I would like to, honestly, from my heart, wish all of you a happy holidays. If, whatever you choose to celebrate or not to, and all that, right? Again, to you, your family, your cat, your dog, who, again, to me, they are family, right? It's, please be safe, have a good holiday season, and remember that we're here for you. If you need help, just reach out, and again, we're here for you, okay? So, again, in a silly one, this will be a short one, but I really want to ask a question because that's something I just don't understand. I've been seeing a fair amount of Vynnset, more so in Blitz, obviously, but I've been playing a fair amount of against a fair amount of Vynnset, and something I don't understand is why you all aren't playing Lunging Press. Now, to kind of understand where I'm coming from on this, I'm going to at least give you my interpretation of kind of how the Vynnset decks, again, from my perception, have developed. I've seen a lot of them kind of moving into a mauve type package. Specifically, I've seen red mauve because it produces 3 rune chants, which seems to be the magic number for the on-hit ones. There are several, there's a couple, right? You have Deathly Delight or whatever, right? That's a 2. But you have, the Phantoms are 2s, but they don't necessarily have an on-hit. So those cards don't specifically scare folks as much. But it's really those cards that have on-hits that are really scary. Now, to be clear, Pummel Vynnset has been a thing kind of since the Vynnset inception, floating around there, which really hits hard. Pun kind of intended there, because it takes a card away, but you have to have 2 floating, you have to have the Pummel obviously in hand, and it's kind of a little broadcasted. Again, sometimes there's not a lot they can do about it, but they do tend to, people tend to overblock, and they can kind of see the widespread destruction out there, so they'll crown and get it out of arsenal, and right, but you can play around it most of the time. So, and then that was kind of I haven't seen too much, because again, you're card limited. You need to be able to produce the rune chants to be able to get what you need to do. Again, if you're a Vynnset player, you certainly get it. If you played against Vynnset, you for the most part get it. But we have seen Mauve working its way back into a lot of the Vynnset lists lately, because it's extremely, Mauve's really a scary card, right? So not only does it give go again, so that it's a guaranteed go again, so they can maybe, finish up with the flail or whatever they need to do to put pressure on. But the main thing on Mauve, specifically red and yellow, is if they hit, they produce 3 or 2 rune chants respectively, which can oftentimes be enough to play another one from discard, from banish. Obviously, you know what I'm talking about. I'm talking about Rune Gate here, right? Because in Vynnset, obviously, Rune Gates are really your economy, or Rune Chants are your economy, excuse me, right? And it's 2 mistakes in a row, but you understand what I'm driving at here, right? Again, I'm working outside my element. This is not my expertise, which again, which is why I'm asking the question. So where I'm going with Lunging Press here, now I'm going to step away just for a little bit. We actually saw a fair amount of, maybe a small amount of Bravo success running Lunging Press earlier this year, right? Earlier 2023 during ProQuest season, where there was some Bravo lists floating around that were running Lunging Press to try and get over on the crush effect. And I actually see this as being a very similar thing. Now, in this case, I'm trying to force hit specifically on Mauve, right? So that you can get those rune chants out. But it's functionally the same type of idea here, right? It's a blue card, so you still have that to do what you want to do. Now, probably if you're going to run it, you probably do have to not run pummel. But again, I've seen many lists skewing away from the pummel type thing, and instead of that, trying to do actually the go wide or so, right, where you're trying to swing twice, and specifically in Blitz. I mean, and maybe this doesn't work in CC. I don't know that Vynnset can do very well in CC, to be blunt, right now at least. I think some very smart people are going to figure out how to make them work. But in Blitz, if you are able to rune gate twice in a turn, that's basically game, right? And that's kind of what you're setting up for. I mean, if your first turn, you're basically, most of the time, at least from what I've seen, you're basically chucking a card. You're actually taking a blood debt most of the time to do that. You're pitching to grasp, or if you're playing vexing to try and get that, fair enough. But you're trying to do something to set up your future, right? It's a slow game type thing. And what you're trying to do is really set up that pop-off turn where they just can't block, because once again, you look at some of these cards, right? Once your hits happen, you're producing, Deathly Whale is producing rune chance equal to the hit if you close the chain. Remember, you can choose to manually close the chain, right? With leaving the action point floating. So you could, mauve into, if even it was like a yellow mauve into a whale or something like that, producing one extra, and that gives you the 3 to play the 3 that you need. I mean, there's a lot of things here if you can hit on mauve. And again, hopefully you're up to speed on what I'm driving at here. I think that's where Lunging Press comes in. I think, again, it's a blue. It only blocks 2. I get it, but it's a 3, or it's a blue that then can, like, tuck an arsenal, threaten the pummel. To be honest, maybe you play one pummel and you like show it to them so they think you got it. So then you tuck that in there, but it's just that one to try and come over the top on mauve. I mean, not on mauve, but you know what I'm saying, right? When you have a mauve attack. I don't know. That's just where my head is. And again, the question to you all, I'll just pretty much end it here, is why not? Is there just not room for it? Am I thinking about the pattern wrong? Maybe so. So anyway, let me know in the comments below, why is Lunging Press not making its way into Vynnset lists for the reason I specified? Or, to even just do some of these on hit triggers. And to be clear, they're not technically on hit triggers, they're on life loss triggers. I get it. But a lot of times you're behind in health, you're not doing the exchange thing. So anyway, that's it. Throw it to you all. Let me know. Why is Lunging Press not making its way into lists? Is it not practical? Anyway, let me know. Nothing else, folks. Not only go commando, but happy holidays.